You've unlocked a roundtable.
Welcome to the Lost Levels Roundtable discussion of Legend. My name is Chris. With me, as always, is Alex.
Hello.
And we just got out of the movie theater. We saw the latest Tom Hardy mobster movie.
Tom Hardy movie starring Tom Hardy and Tom Hardy.
Yes, the movie that everybody forgot about because the trailers came out months ago and then hasn't been really marketed very well since. Everything's been Star Wars related.
Oh, yeah. Marketed not very well indeed.
Yeah, I would also want to point out before we start going into this, we are going to do our roundtable discussions where we go into a non-spoiler review at first, then we'll do our credits, and then at the very end, after the credits, we will go into our spoiler section.
Indeed.
So, that being said, initial thoughts?
It's a long movie.
Yeah.
I will give it that. That's not necessarily a good thing, but it is a thing about the movie.
Yeah, it's funny because like we joke around because we watched Spectre earlier this year, and Spectre felt like it was 5 hours long.
Yeah.
It did have a longer running time than this. However, this felt just equally as long. This was a half hour shorter than Spectre. And
it was only 2 hours?
Yeah. It was a little bit over 2 hours.
It did not feel as short as 2 hours by any means.
Right. Okay, so I'm going to get it out of the way. Tom Hardy plays the Cray brothers.
Yeah, twins.
He plays both of them. And I really had a hard time getting away from the crazy brother being Bane. The Bane voice.
I did not pick up on that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, granted, I don't think I've seen that movie since theaters, to be honest with you.
He just has the mumbly, hard to understand...
That's just the British accent in general.
Okay, yeah. At first, my ears were not accustomed to the thick British accent.
I don't think it ever got accustomed. I really had to pay attention.
Yeah, I had to really
being said.
Stay really focused into it because Tom flies through some of the lines in the native tongue, and it is definitely something to be. You really have to understand, pay attention. You're right, but I just got the sense of Bane's persona a little bit, and that's what kind of took me away from it because I think Tom does a good job.
I think he does a really good job.
And he's definitely the shining light for this movie.
I would hope so.
Yeah, I mean, he carries the film. I mean, obviously. And he has to carry the film because there's really not much else there for me.
That's true. I mean, he does a phenomenal job, I think. He does a good job of portraying each brother very separately to the point where I could easily distinguish the two. I mean, even outside of the glasses that the one brother wears, just like you said, the way he talks and just his manners and just the way he carries himself and everything. He does a really good job of really distinguishing the two brothers.
Yeah, there were some definite moments in there, some key scenes that I really felt that he played both brothers perfectly. And I felt like they were two separate people, which is, commendable for Tom Hardy.
Yeah.
So I really can't. I can't say anything bad about his performance. I thought he did a really phenomenal job.
Oh, totally, really good job.
That being said, the rest of the movie is very weak.
Yeah, and like I touched on earlier, it wasn't marketed well. It was marketed wrong, I think, because the story that they were portraying in the trailers and everything, I don't think it was the story that was given to us in this, and that really threw me off.
What do you mean?
Just, I felt like it was going, lean heavily on these two brothers and their backhanded deals and underground trade and everything like that. And there was that, but it focused a lot on the relationship between Reggie and Francis, his love interest. And it leaned heavily on that to the point where that was probably most of the movie, I would say.
Yeah, and the problem with that too is Francis' character was very one-dimensional. Like, she wasn't written very well. for me. She was just there. There was nothing charismatic about it. There's nothing in those scenes where it's just like, oh, okay, I'm glad we're watching their relationship, because the relationship was kind of boring. There's not substance there enough to carry such a film, the duration of a film, because like you're right, it was very heavy into their relationship, and it just, there's a lot of different things too where they tried to go touching into different areas of the story that didn't go anywhere.
Right.
And they were very boring because they didn't go anywhere. There's just like these like side little stories everywhere, and as a whole, it's a mess.
Pretty much.
It's a badly paced, badly like formulated movie.
It's just not edited well. It's just it spends too much time on some things and just not enough on the more interesting aspects of it.
Right. Like if you just cut out so many of these little I wouldn't even say they're plots, because they're just like random things that kind of pop up that don't go anywhere, that aren't interesting to the point of they don't need to be in this film. And if they weren't in this film, they focused in on other things, it might have been more interesting.
Yeah.
But there's just too much shit that didn't matter and it turned into this mess.
Like the whole stuff with the American mob. Like that wasn't that necessary. I mean, they went back to it.
They went back to it for one scene and then that's it.
Yeah. And it doesn't play out, and it's only really to do some character building, which was really already established at that point. So there's no point to it.
Mm-hmm. And, they don't spend a lot of time on several different areas, too, that we'll probably talk about a little bit more in depth into the spoiler section, where we're a bit more free to discuss some of this stuff. But as a whole, I just don't think that this movie is entertaining. I don't think I'll watch it ever again.
I'm right there with you.
Aside from Tom Hardy's performance, there's nothing there. There's no substance whatsoever. I've watched so many more interesting gangster movies or smarter written movies that are just, it's nothing. It's boring.
No, totally agree. I mean, if you're looking for a good, English crime movie, go to a Guy Ritchie movie. Those, are the epitome of, I was at first thinking this was going to be in that same type of vein, but it just definitely wasn't. Nowhere near that.
Yeah, because I remember watching the trailers for this, thinking this is going to be like a more of an action-packed, yeah, you're right, kind of like a smart, witty Guy Ritchie type of movie.
Exactly.
And that's not the case.
Not at all. And, just me going back to the poor marketing of this.
Yeah.
And they, that's probably why they marketed it that way, is because they knew the movie that was really there wasn't something people were going to see.
That, and the other part of that, too, is they didn't put a lot of effort into the marketing because they kind of realized that this movie's not very good.
Probably the case.
And they're like, we're not going to spend too much money on it. Anyway, Star Wars is in theaters right now. So people are probably watching that. In our theater, for a prime slot, I would say $7.50, we went to go see this at night.
Yeah.
The theater was packed, just not with people watching Legend.
No. There was less than a dozen people in that.
Oh, there's less than that. The rest of you, like 5 or 6 people, not including us.
Yes, okay. I want to say there was about
36, 7, 8. 8 people, not including us.
Yeah.
Was in the theater. And we were in a really small theater, and everybody was all spaced out. So, like, no one really has that much interest in it. And for good reason. I would definitely, my recommendation is not to watch it.
That is my recommendation as well.
Honestly, I would pass on it. You'll get over the cleverness of Tom Hardy's playing 2 roles within the first 10 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that, you're stuck with a 2-hour film that doesn't go anywhere.
Even then, like, in the shots where they have both of the characters he plays on screen at the same time, like, the compositing on it wasn't that good.
Mm-mm.
The lighting looked bad, and you could totally tell that, they were 2 separate entities shot at 2 separate times. Like, it was pretty god-awful.
There was several scenes like that. Like, I felt like I was watching The Parent Trap again on the Disney Channel.
Yeah.
I mean, for modern technology, They didn't do a good job with that at all. You're right, 100% right.
Yeah, I thought we kind of mastered that shit by now.
Yeah, you would think. We're able to put like cartoon rabbits on.
Yeah, we're able to put Frodo and Gandalf in the same scene together and show them at different sizes. Like
we have the technology, people.
We have technology. We have the movie magic. We have lighting.
I think that they stopped caring.
It seems that way. It's like, you know what? The audience is going to care about this movie. Why the hell should we?
Yeah, and it kind of felt like that because it was honestly it was a mess. So I would not recommend watching this movie.
Not at all.
So that is our review. Yeah. So Alex, hang on after the credits for spoilers. So Alex, how can we reach you?
You can follow me on Twitter. My name there is Alex Sandberg, AlexSamberg, or email me directly at the website, alex@lostlevel.com. What about you, Chris?
Yeah, that's a good point. If you have any questions or want to have us talk about something on the cast, let us know. It's podcasts@lostlevel.com.
This is news to me.
What do you mean it's news?
I didn't know we had just that one account.
Yeah, we have a podcasts account.
What?
That people could write into, and definitely we will talk about it on the podcast. We'd love to talk about your emails and
I'm going to email us.
You want to bring stuff. So yeah, we will do that. So it's podcasts@lostlevel.com. You could reach me personally at chris@lostlevel.com. I'm on Twitter, twitter.com/calmintensity. I'm on Instagram at chrisiscalm. We have all of our social media links on lostlevel.com. In the upper right-hand corner of lostlevel.com is the link to all that stuff. We're on YouTube. We just posted our Star Wars review, so we hope that you guys get a chance to listen to that. It was really great debate. Adam was even back for that cast, and that was a lot of fun to have everybody back to discuss it. So definitely give that a listen. It's on lostlevel.com. It's also on our YouTube page, so check that out. So we'll talk to you guys soon, and hang out for spoilers.
Spoilers.
Yeah, there's really not much to say about this movie.
Yeah, you could tell by how fast we went through the initial review.
Yeah, normally our review's been averaging about 40 minutes lately. Star Wars ballooned over to an hour, but that was just, I felt like that was a really good conversation.
And we had an extra person on.
Yeah, so that was good talk there. This one, there's really not much to say. I really did not like a lot of the story at all. I was bored to tears. It doesn't go anywhere.
It doesn't really. Even when it ends, it just kind of ends.
Yeah, like after his wife kills herself, you're like, okay, so this has to wrap up sometime. I looked at my clock. I'm like, shit, man, this has to wrap up any moment, and it feels like there shouldn't be a good, clean wrap up, like a good conclusion to this movie. There really wasn't.
No, it was just sloppy.
Yeah,
and it's. I mean that line at the end that he gives his brother was it was a strong and powerful line, and really showed that whole idea of the loyalty that they were trying to portray, which they don't really go far into. But we said I killed him because I couldn't kill you, and it's just like, okay, that was a cool line. I liked that. But outside, it's just like, there's nothing.
No, it was, even the violence is boring. Like, for being a mob movie, it was very non-mob-esque.
Yeah.
And boring when it was trying to be.
Like, the fight scene in the pub with the rival gang could have been so much better.
Yeah. And then they tried to do a fight with the brothers fighting each other.
Mm-hmm.
Which was okay. Like, just a lot of stuff doesn't go anywhere. It's boring. Like, I can't say boring enough, apparently, because it just keeps on coming out. But
because for a movie that was so long, or at least felt so long, it felt like nothing happened.
Yeah, I mean, like, you could have made the whole relationship between the not Chicago mob, the U.S. Vegas mob. Their relationship with the brothers a lot more interesting, and had some maybe strife there that they had to work through, and that could have been the movie right there. That could have been a more interesting movie Instead, they give you like a little breadcrumb of that. And they give you a little breadcrumb of the cops trying to build a case around them.
Yeah. I mean, granted, they are constrained to the actual events, but
Yeah, but when you're making a movie, whenever you're constrained to actual events, you take liberties on those to make an interesting movie. Whenever a movie says it's based on actual events, that means it's based on. It's not telling the exact events of the movie.
and inspired by true events is even looser take on that.
Right. Like, you have to take those movie liberties to make something interesting, because if you do something verbatim that's not necessarily an interesting story,
Mm-hmm.
movie audiences don't give a shit if
That's
it's
true.
how accurate to detail it is. They're going to, because they see the gimmick of Tom Hardy playing the two brothers. They see the trailer for it. They're like, oh, okay, that looks kind of cool.
Yeah,
And it's Tom Hardy, somebody who's very popular in Hollywood that people want to see.
exactly.
So that's why they're seeing this movie. They're not going there because it's an actual representation of what the exact events of what happened.
Fair enough.
So they need to take liberties to make it more exciting. Focus in on that. And maybe they did have a relationship with the U.S. mob, and maybe just expound on that.
Right.
Give more detail to that. Just fluff that up a little bit.
Or even the rival mob that they were going up against. They were there, then they were gone.
Mm-hmm. They were there for like 2 seconds. Paul Beatty or Bettany.
I don't know. I couldn't understand what they were saying.
The Vision, from the Avengers movies, has a small role in this, which I would have loved to see more because I love him.
Right.
Like he's captivating to me whenever he's on screen. Whatever I'm watching, I like him. He has a good presence. I don't think the relationship that Tom Hardy had with Emily Browning or Frances in this movie was interesting at all. I thought that her performance there wasn't much to her character.
Right. I mean, she did what she could with it, but yeah, like you said, there wasn't much there.
Yeah. So for a movie to really focus in on a relationship that heavily, they should have really gave it more oomph.
Yeah, I mean, it was to the point where her killing herself at the end didn't really seem believable. Like, I was just like, okay, yeah, you married an asshole, it happens, a lot of people have done that. But, I didn't feel the weight to the relationship to the point that she would go through with that.
Well, I mean, he beat her and I assume raped her?
I think that was kind of implied, yeah.
So she was at wit's end. She was already a druggie because he was an absent husband.
Right.
So she honestly couldn't believe him anymore because anytime he tried to promise something, he fell through on those promises.
That's
because
true.
he couldn't do it. So she's like, yeah, let's go away to this place that I like the sound of. And she knew in her heart that wasn't going to happen because he would never be able to walk away from the life because he's tried so many different times. Right. And that was supposed to be like the aha moment or something where he, at the very end of the movie, where after she kills herself, because I could totally see that. I bought that because she just was in this dead end situation. But I did not like the fact that of all the times that he said something to her, this was the one time he meant it and he actually bought the tickets and he carried those to his very last day on Earth or whatever.
Right, but my point is, yes, that more than likely did happen, and I'm sure the actual person was crushed when it happened, but I did not feel that weight in the movies.
No.
That was my point.
Yeah. And he was kind of the boring brother. I mean, he
yeah.
There was what was there? Like he
was obviously charming and charismatic. I think they showed that pretty well at the beginning.
Yeah, so
the opening scene.
He was able to be the people person, the person who could run a nightclub, the person who can run a successful business.
Right.
Because he has that set of social skills and can do it. But his brother just weighs him down so damn much and ruins pretty much everything for him. But other than that, he didn't really do much. He was always... it it was like a over and over again. He just did the same exact stuff.
Yes.
So it wasn't really interesting to that point. Where it
was like, Ron, you scamp! What are you doing, messing up the business? It was just like, it felt almost sitcom-y at that point. It's the one that flubs everything.
You have to be aware of, like, if you have another sibling who is really fucking everything up, you have to have the wherewithal to be like, hey, dude, you need to, like, chill out a little bit and, like, have a talk with them. Like, you can do all your shit, just you step away from the business a little bit and let me take care of this stuff.
Exactly.
Because you're doing dumb shit. It was a mess, man. Like, there was a lot of promise there, but they rely too much on the gimmick.
Exactly.
And that's the downfall of this movie, really. You know, for it to be named Legend, it could be named Forgotten.
Very much so.
And
I probably will forget it.
Yeah, like, I don't ever want to talk about it really again. This could be in the disappointments of 2015 conversation for me. I don't know.
All right.
I have to formulate those lists. Shit, that's soon, actually. It's, end of December now.
We're getting to that point.
Yeah, we got to watch the Oscar movies and then start formulating those lists. So, anything else you want to say about Legend?
No, I think there's really not much more to say. There's never much to say about it in general.
Yeah, it's forgettable. I wouldn't watch it.
All right.
Thanks for listening, guys, and we'll be reviewing something really soon because a couple movies come out for Christmas.
We're going to try to see Hateful Eight, and what's the other one? Another one.
There's another movie that I can't think of right now, but yeah, Hateful Eight's the next one on the list that we're going to go check out. A 3-hour Quentin Tarantino spectacle. Happy holidays, everybody. We really appreciate you guys. And do us a favor, tell a friend, help us grow.
Have that be our Christmas present. Tell a friend and say, Merry Christmas, Lost Level. We got you a new listener.
And we would really appreciate that. That'd be awesome. You can even tell us that you did at podcasts@lostlevel.com.
Yep, do it.
And we'll definitely say thank you.
All right.
On air, even.
Oh, okay.
We'll see. Whatever. I don't know.
By individual name?
I'm tired.
Yeah,
that movie.
Long movie.
That movie wore me out. All right. Thanks for listening, guys. We'll talk to you soon.
Bye.